Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have been a little bit absent over the last couple of weeks. I am currently now into my 7th week of lockdown here in Sydney. I was actually having a chat with my good friend Jessica Kobeissi the other day, and she recommended that I do a reaction video. Now, I haven't really done any of these before, any reaction videos, but today I just really needed a laugh. Like I said, I'm into 7 weeks of lockdown and I just needed to look at something and have a bit of a giggle. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've decided to do a reaction video on some of the worst fashion campaigns that have ever been retouched. So I know there's a lot out there. Now, honestly, I've scoured the internet and I've scoured Reddit for these images in particular. There is a lot of poorly retouched fashion campaigns out there. So I might do another video on this at some other stage, but we're gonna go through some of the worst retouched fashion campaigns and I hope you guys enjoy. So this looks to be more of a general commercial shot more than a fashion campaign in particular, but I just had to add this one in because I think it's kind of hilarious. Like where are their knees? Like they've just disappeared. I don't understand. I don't really understand the point of retouching out specific parts of limbs, and I just think like they're so smooth. Oh, it does give me a bit of a laugh looking at that. But also I think the legs have also been really slimmed down in this particular shot. And yeah, just it's really strange to see legs without knees. Like I had to add this one in. This is actually also like Gigi Hadid and Kendall Jenner as well. So you would think with a shot like this being so high profile as well, things like this wouldn't kind of fly under the radar, but apparently they do. So this is actually an American Apparel campaign and I'm like just so confused looking at this image. I mean, the horse's body is clearly missing, but why? Like that's the question I think that's on everyone's minds here. Like why did they feel the need to retouch the rest of the horse out? And like, I don't really understand what that has achieved here. So I'm really stuck with this image because I'm just like if you're not going to have the horse's body in there, then why have you got a horse in the shot at all? Like there's just so much confusion around this shot. I don't even really know what to comment on here. Now this one's a beauty campaign for Chanel and I'm really struggling with this shot. I mean, her neck is really smooth. I think this is advertising a foundation. There's not a single neck wrinkle on that neck. It just like, there's so many of these images. I'm just like asking myself why they would choose to retouch certain things out. Like, and I know that there's been a lot of Photoshop fails over the years, but like seriously, looking at just some of these images, like that neck, yeah, it's really smooth. Now this one is an editorial technically for Vanity Fair, and oh boy, where do I start with this one? There is several things going on here which I'm just, once again, just super confused. So the main thing that I can see that is really like making me question everything is that there's a third hand. So you've got Oprah and Reese Witherspoon here and they're literally sitting next to each other and you can see that there's fingers around Reese Witherspoon's waist, which you would think is Oprah's hand, but that would mean that she technically has 3 hands. So I don't really understand the point of putting an extra hand in there. Clearly they were really experimenting with Frankensteining, and this is like kind of like a term that is quite popular amongst retouchers. To be honest, the main places that I see Frankensteining done is actually in wedding photographs and certain client photographs, because sometimes with group shots in particular at weddings, you might have someone that's not smiling, you might have someone that has their eyes closed, and there have been certain circumstances where I've actually had to take a person's face from another shot and transfer it to the shot that I'm actually choosing to send through to the client. So it's hard sometimes to get people with their eyes open all the time, or potentially with certain poses, you might need to stick a hand or a leg, potentially depending on how they look. Sometimes people can be in a bit of an awkward pose, but everything else is right in the shot. It can be frustrating at times, and sometimes that's where Frankensteining can come in handy. However, I've never really understood so much with a lot of fashion shots, because with fashion editorials and fashion campaigns, you're spending the time to really get the right shot initially. So there's always seemingly a lot of experimentation when it comes to this kind of thing, and I just feel like so many times it goes horribly wrong, like in this instance where you've literally got 3 hands. There also seems to be potentially an extra leg. I mean, that could be part of Oprah, but this actually does look like Reese Witherspoon has 3 legs in this shot. Once again, potentially some Frankensteining gone wrong. So Do I recommend doing that with retouching fashion campaigns? Not necessarily, but unless you've been specifically asked to by a photographer or an art director or someone else. But yeah, for most of the time, I really can't understand for the most part why those photos can't be taken properly the first time in camera. I mean, it's definitely questionable. Okay, so this is actually a fashion campaign for Gucci, and there's definitely something going on with those legs. I'm trying to like piece together, my brain is literally trying to piece together how is this anatomically correct, and I don't believe it is. When you're looking at her legs, I don't know what is going on with the, like, has it been retouched? Like, I mean, always the question is why, and especially for such a brand like Gucci. Okay, so now we have another fashion editorial, and it's a cover image for Vogue. And once again, we're looking at Gigi Hadid, and apparently, so in this shot, I can see her arm does look very odd. It looks extra long. So when you're looking at where it's sort of supposed to start, her forearm and her elbow would be around here, and it just looks very oddly long. This is one of those ones though where I'm not really sure if it actually has been retouched, if there's a bit of Frankensteining that's going on there, or whether it's just how it looks in the photograph. I mean, personally, it looks like her forearm would be too long to not have been retouched, and it does look a bit strange. So that's definitely a questionable one, but I've seen a lot of people being like really outraged by this particular image because of that. So yeah, I think it looks a bit strange. I feel like for me, the jury's a bit out on whether that's been retouched or not, but look, it's quite possible considering what we've already seen. This is a Victoria's Secret campaign, and oh my goodness, the amount of retouching that has clearly gone into this. I don't understand it. I'm not sure how long ago this was retouched or taken. I feel like these days we're getting to the point where there's a lot less retouching at times done through fashion campaigns, because people are really waking up to these over retouched images which are just not realistic. And yeah, I don't really understand why they've gone so far with this particular image. And it is kind of frustrating to look at, like, as a retoucher, because this is exactly why I think a lot of retouchers have such a bad name for themselves, and why there's such a backlash against retouching, because things like this get done and it's so easy to see why people are angry and why it's so unnecessary to do this. So as much as I wanted to have a laugh today, there's definitely some images here that are very frustrating to look at, I will say. Here's another editorial for Cosmopolitan, and wow. Oh, there's a bit of a 2D hand effect there. I mean, how? How have they done that? That is just... like, some of these, I'm like really questioning whether some of these retouchers or whoever's signing off on these final images as well, like, how do you think that people aren't gonna notice these things? I mean, they're just so blatantly obvious, but wow, that's really bad. Oh God, what is that? Why did no one pick this up? Like, why did no one see this? I think it's like a crab claw. That's what it looks like. It literally is a crab claw. Like, I'm struggling to see like how it's even been retouched. Like, how, surely like the original image, like that does not look better than what the original hand looked like. Surely that's not an improvement. Like, that's all I've got to say on that. Oh wow. That's a very, very long neck. It's one of those ones where I think like, it's hard to see what they've done there. And it's like any sort of shape there has been retouched out potentially. Maybe the neck has been extended a little bit. There could have been a bit of liquefying there. I don't know, but whatever it is, it does look quite strange from this angle. Oh God. So apparently this photo is from Maxim magazine, and clearly this, like, is that Victoria Beckham? I don't actually know. I can't really tell very well in this photo. I think it is, but it's clear that she was not photographed in this location. She's just been photoshopped into this location. Like, if you look at where her foot is with touching the water and on the sides, oh God. That is, Yeah, I wouldn't say that's a great job with the retouching at all. And it's pretty crazy to think that that was published in Maxim magazine. Like, that's not just some small indie magazine that no one's kind of like ever heard of or anything like that. That is like kind of a big magazine. I mean, I feel like I was retouching stuff like that and doing an okay job maybe when I was like 15. This is definitely one that they might have gotten the very inexperienced intern to do, as far as I'm concerned. Wow, I feel like they've just... Like, was there even swimwear there to begin with? It's so strange. It's like they've just like made a selection in Photoshop and just like dumped the paint bucket in there, and now you've got some 2D swimwear. Like, that's really interesting. I don't see the point of it. I don't really know why they've done it. Once again, the question is why. Wow, this is an interesting image. I don't actually know what is happening in that bottom half. Like, it looks like they've removed her legs. There's genuine confusion there. I'm so unsure of where her legs have gone and why they look 2D, and there's just a lot, like it's just a lot in this image. It's very, very awkward to look at and to see, especially in that bottom half. Wow. And here we have another editorial image, and it's one of those images where at first glance it doesn't look like anything's wrong, but when you look a bit closer, yeah, you start to see certain things that don't look quite right. Once again, potentially a case of Frankensteining. Well, definitely a case of Frankensteining. Unless she actually does have 2 right feet, which would be, I mean, it's possible, but how do you not pick up on those things? I mean, everyone makes mistakes, don't get me wrong. And look, I'm not in the business of trashing other people's retouching, but definitely I got a really good laugh out of some of these images today. And it does make you wonder how these things get signed off on in the first place. I hope you guys have sort of learnt today what not to do with your retouching careers. If you're looking at doing retouching, or you're looking at doing retouching fashion campaigns, or you're a photographer and you do retouching, these are just some of the things that are really good not to do. And clearly these other retouchers and graphic designers and whoever's been on these particular campaigns or editorials, I really hope they've learnt from their mistakes, and I hope that some of the people that are associated with these campaigns and magazines, whether it be the art directors and the higher ups, really understand that, yeah, just some of these are, in this day and age, would just be ridiculous to make these kind of mistakes. But I did get a laugh out of today's video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do. I'll be posting more videos like this one in future. And if you did enjoy this reaction video, please let me know, because I'm happy to do more in future. There's a few more ideas that I had around some retouching videos like this. So let me know if you did enjoy it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.